Good morning. Today is Tuesday, August 16th, day 177. It is about 7:40 in the morning, and I am just getting started for the day. I slept really well last night, pretty much slept through the entire night. That was nice. Had a nice, easy morning. Had my oatmeal breakfast and coffee. And now I'm taking off. So today is going to be a 21.5 mile day. And from the looks of things, this will be the easiest 20-mile day of the entire trail. So I looked at the map earlier this morning just to see what the terrain was looking like, and it's really mostly flat. There's one little hill that I'll have to go over about midway through the day, but it really looks like nothing compared to what I've done throughout this entire hiking experience. So that shouldn't really be much of an issue. Well, it shouldn't be an issue at all, really. And I looked at the elevation profile today, and in these 21 miles, I will only gain 1,300 feet of elevation. Yesterday, in 19 miles, I gained over 4,000 feet of elevation going up over those peaks earlier in the day. And then I had a smaller climb about midway through the day. So yeah, today is really nothing but a stroll. And so I'm gonna try to get it done as quickly as possible. I love counting the days down, but I really still just want to be finished. And yeah, this is the last episode that I'm recording, so by the end of this video, I will have summited Katahdin, which I can't wait. Can't wait. You know, in these last few days, I'm starting to look back over this whole experience in my mind. I can remember how fresh-faced and excited I was back in Georgia, but I also knew that this was going to be a lot of work, and I knew that there were going to be moments when I was going to want to not hike anymore. And all that stuff is true. I've almost quit several times and gone home, but I managed to pull something out which allowed me to keep going. And you know, I think that says a lot. They say going into this that only 1 in 4 people who start in Georgia actually make it to Katahdin. And I knew before I even stepped foot on trail that I had what it took to be one of those people who made it all the way. I knew that physically I could do it despite how hard it is. The only question I had was mentally, could I keep myself in it when I wanted to check out? And yeah, it took some extra effort in that area. Mentally and emotionally, there's been so much that has affected me. And that's like stuff happening on trail, stuff that I've seen and noticed, the way I sort of perceive things, the way I view things happening around me, and also just paying attention somewhat to things still going on back in the normal world. You know, every day you gotta think about stuff, and it takes its toll over this amount of time when you're exerting this much energy. But I'm still here, I'm still moving, and we're just days away from the finish line, so I can't wait to get there. It's gonna be such a great feeling. So let's knock out these 21.5 miles today so that we can have 3 days left instead of 4. 9.5 miles in just under 3 hours. It looks like today is going to be one of those 12 by 12 kind of days. The terrain has definitely allowed for it. But I figured this is a good place to take a little rest break, eat a little snack, and then get back to it. Well, that was a decent little break. Nice little secluded beach area right off the trail. I didn't get all the way in the water just because I don't feel like it. Those other guys were clearly having fun. One of the guys, his name is Fish, and he attempted an AT through hike back in 2015, I think. And he ended up getting Lyme disease, which took him down for a few years. But he's been coming back and knocking out different sections, trying to complete it. So I think Lyme disease forced him off in New Hampshire. So he came out this year to finish out his last section, and his two friends, Radio and the Baby, came out to join him, which is cool. They're some good guys, fun to be around, funny. They seem to be doing a good job of keeping each other entertained. And I've been around them for a little bit, or a little minute. Basically, we had the same itinerary going through the 100-mile wilderness. Well, same-ish. Whereas I slack packed the first 2 days, they didn't. Yeah, it's nice as it would have been to join in on the fun with them. You know, I'm past that point of wanting to like have the spontaneous experiences. Now I want to go home And that's all I could think about while I was sitting and soaking. Just like, I wish I was home. I wish I was around my friends and family, and I just can't wait for this time next week when I'm just sitting on the couch doing nothing, and I'll be clean, and I'll have a bed, and I'll have all the food that I want, and this will be a thing of the past that I won't have to think about anymore. I won't have to think about getting up the next day and hiking more miles. I won't have to think about walking on rocks and roots all day. Like putting on the same dirty, smelly, wet clothes. Eating freaking bars and Slim Jims and dehydrated food. Like, I just want to put all of this behind me. So I figured close to an hour break was enough, and I got my stuff and left. They're probably going to be there for another hour, which is good for them. Yeah, I do wish I could have had more fun experiences like that, and I wish I could have had like a solid group of people around me to have fun experiences with, but that wasn't the hike that I was supposed to have, I suppose. And that isn't what the AT had in store for me, so I'm just gonna finish it and move on because I'm tired. So this is Namakanta Stream Shelter, which is actually pretty nice. It's about 1:45 in the afternoon, and I've logged 15 and a half miles so far today. That means I only have 6 miles left to get to Wadley Stream, where I was planning to stop today. Though I may decide to do a little more than that, just to make tomorrow a little easier. But we'll see about that a little later. Right now is lunchtime. Well, I will say I got pretty lucky back there at that shelter. There was absolutely no rain in the forecast today, but I stopped at that shelter to eat a little lunch, and literally as soon as I climbed into the shelter with all my stuff and started pulling my food bag out, the rain started coming down out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, thank goodness I made it there. So yeah, I ended up taking pretty close to an hour break just to let the little shower pass by, which it didn't last very long. Another hiker had just gotten there right as I was getting ready to start packing up to leave again. But yeah, so I have a little less than 6 miles to get to Wadley Stream campsite and shelter. And I know I just said a little while ago that I was possibly thinking about going a little further than that, but I don't think I am. That little rain shower changed my mind, and I was reminded that we are supposed to get rain tomorrow. So I would rather sleep in the shelter, keep my tent and most of my stuff dry before having to hike all day in the rain tomorrow. So yeah, and I also just don't feel like doing more. I mean, Wadley shelter will put me at 21.5 miles today, and I think that's enough. And I was gonna push a little further to prevent having to hike another 20 miles tomorrow, but tomorrow will be my last 20-mile day, and it's not even a full 20 miles. It's like 19.5, but I'm basically calling it 20. So yeah, we'll just play it by ear, I guess, and see when we get there. Thankfully, the terrain has been pretty nice and gentle all day, so I've been able to keep a really quick pace. So it's close to 2:45 right now, going on 3 o'clock. So I should make it to the shelter before 5 or like around 5 o'clock at the latest, as long as I can keep this pace. So we'll see what I feel like doing when I get there. All right, so I made it here to Wadley Stream Lean-To. There are reports of a very aggressive mouse which lives in this shelter, and there's actually a little mouse trap back there against the wall, so I'm definitely not sleeping in the shelter. I have to decide if I'm going to stay here or if I'm going to keep pushing on a bit. And there was actually a really beautiful campsite right next to a beach about a half a mile back, but I decided not to stay there because that would make my day tomorrow a half mile longer. What I'm thinking right now is that maybe I'll just eat dinner here and then I'll keep hiking maybe another 2 miles up to the top of this next mountain, which is called something, I can't remember. But I hear that there are some stealth spots up there, and it might be cool to see the sunset from up there. Maybe catch a sunrise in the morning, even though it's supposed to rain tomorrow. But I read that the rain isn't supposed to start until around 12 noon, so I would have plenty of time to get up and get packed up and get out of camp before the rain comes. So I might do that. I just don't want to carry a bunch of water up there for dinner tonight and breakfast tomorrow. So I think I might just eat dinner here and then keep pushing on up the mountain. But we'll see. I might just stop here, honestly. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, August 17th, day 178. I'm just leaving Wadley Shelter, and it is about 6:30 in the morning. So I decided not to hike on yesterday, pretty much because I just don't fully trust the weather in Maine. It has rained when the forecast said there wouldn't be rain. Rain has come earlier than predicted, and it has lasted longer than predicted. So I just didn't want to take my chances up on top of this mountain with like having to pack up this morning in the rain. And I also just didn't feel like doing it anymore. 21 and a half miles yesterday was enough. And I've got 19 and a half to do today. And I'm going to try to push it today because we are expecting rain. It is in the forecast. It's supposed to start around 12 noon and pretty much last through the rest of today and into tomorrow. So I'm hoping I can put quite a few miles behind me before the rain starts. And I'm hoping that maybe it starts a little bit later than 12. The forecast said sometime between 12 and 2. So maybe it'll be closer to 2. Maybe we'll get lucky like we did yesterday. Aside from that, today is really my last full day of hiking. So like after this, there will be no more 20-mile or close to 20-mile days. So today I'm going to be stopping at Brook Lean-To, which is the last shelter in the 100-mile wilderness. There's only about 24 miles left of the wilderness. So I'm almost out. And I will be making my way out of here first thing tomorrow morning. And tomorrow's gonna be a little tricky because there's some extra planning and coordinating that I had to do in order to make this Katahdin summit as seamless as possible, because Baxter State Park has a shit ton of rules and regulations that they adhere to, and they are very strict about it. I guess because it's become so popular and people come from all over to hike Katahdin. So I'll explain what all I have to do a little later. Right now, I just want to knock out this first climb and put some miles behind me. Today is going to be a little more challenging than yesterday terrain-wise. We've got some elevation, though it's still not as much as I've seen on a typical day in the Whites and Maine. So that's good, I guess. Just gotta get through it. Just another day. And we're almost done. Today's a full day. Tomorrow it's kind of a full day, but not really. And then Friday is summit day. Let's go. Biggest climb of the day is finally done. Took a little longer than what I was expecting, but it was steep and my body is just so fucking tired. I told y'all, I am sick of these mountains. I really am. Y'all, Katahdin is right there. I'm getting so close. So close. First 8 miles of the day done in just under 3 hours, so not bad. Just taking a quick snack break here at this lean-to, and then gonna knock out the next 8 miles, which looks pretty flat. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully I can just knock it out as quickly as possible before the rain comes. And then, yeah, I won't be much further from the next shelter after that, where I'm planning to stop for the day. So just hoping this rain can hold off as long as humanly possible, so I can get as close to the shelter as possible. So I better hurry up and eat and get a move on. So it is just 11 o'clock now. I'm already a little more than 12 miles in on the day. I'll just be straight up. I'm flying and I'm not stopping for anything except to pee. I have enough water that I can ration for these 19 and a half miles that I'm doing today. I have my snacks at the ready, so when I get hungry, I can just grab something while I'm moving. But I just don't have time for this anymore. I'm over it. So the quicker I can get this done, the quicker I can get home to my bed. So I'm not going to be stopping for the next 7 miles or so until I get to Herd Brook lean-to. And then from there, depending on what the weather looks like, I will determine whether I will stop there for the day or if it's a good idea to just go ahead and finish up the 100-mile wilderness today and camp over at A-Ball Bridge. But I need to see if you have to pay something to camp there, because if so, I'm probably not going there. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it right now. We'll see where I'm at when I decide to pull my phone out again. Just made it up the last little climb of the day up to Rainbow Ledges. Really wasn't that difficult, just a little annoying. The forecast called for rain starting at 12 o'clock today. And literally at 12:01, it started coming down. Thankfully, I'm just 2.5 miles away from Herd Brook lean-to. And I've decided that's where I'm gonna stop for today, since the campground at A-Ball costs money. I don't want to pay to stay there tonight. But look at this. Katahdin is officially 21 miles away. So I will be splitting that up over the next couple of days, which means, well, at least tomorrow will be fairly easy. Friday, climbing up Katahdin is going to be a nightmare, but at least it's the last nightmare on this adventure. All right, let's get to the shelter so we can take cover. Guess who made it to Herd Brook shelter? I got here pretty much right at 1 o'clock. And I beat the rain, so I stayed dry. Yay. It is a little chilly, and it's only 2 o'clock now. And I'm just gonna be sitting here for the rest of the day, but I don't care. I'm glad to be done. Pretty much got 20 miles done by 1 o'clock, and I started at a little after 6:30 this morning. I ran, and I don't care. So yeah, today was the last big day of hiking. I do not have to hike any more 20-mile days, and I love that. So tomorrow is going to get a little tricky. So about 4 miles from this shelter is the entrance to Baxter State Park. And I have to get there pretty early tomorrow morning so that I can make sure that I get myself on that sign-up sheet to stay at the Birches campsite, which is the only campsite in Baxter State Park which is specifically designated for thru hikers. There are only 12 spots in that shelter at that campsite. And if you don't get on the list to camp there, then you pretty much don't have too many other options as far as camping in Baxter State Park. The rangers, I hear, will try their best to try to find a campsite for you to stay in the park, but if there are no sites available, pretty much your only option is to try to sign up for the birches the next day. And I'm telling y'all right now, if I can't stay at the birches on Friday, and if those rangers, Thursday, if I can't stay at the birches tomorrow night, Thursday night, and if those rangers can't find somewhere for me to camp tomorrow night, I might not be summoning Katahdin, because I'm not playing that game. And I'm not hiking 20 miles just to summit. Like, I don't want to do that. So I haven't really seen a whole lot of northbound through hikers since I left Shaw's. So I'm hoping that I don't have a difficult time getting a spot at Birches. So I'm planning to wake up at 4:30 in the morning tomorrow, which I really don't want to do because it's likely going to be raining all night and all day tomorrow. But I'm going to have to jump up, not eat breakfast, and just hightail it those 4 miles to get to the park entrance and the ranger station so that I can get my name on that list. The good thing is that there is a store, the A-Ball Bridge convenience store, which is like within a half mile of the ranger station. So once I get my name on that list, I can just hang out at the store for a good portion of the day, eat some food, use their Wi-Fi if I decide to pay for it, and just, chill out. So that's my plan for now, and I'm just hoping that there isn't a bunch of thru hikers stealth camping just ahead of this shelter, because otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. But I really doubt that's the case. I think everyone who left before me is summiting like today. So yeah, let's just hope for that. But yeah, I'm just going to chill for a while. So I might talk to y'all a little later. Good morning, y'all. It is about 6:20 a.m. on Thursday, August 18th. Today is my dad's 60th birthday, so happy birthday to him. It sucks that I'm probably not going to have any service today, so I can't text him. But today is day 179, and we are down to the last couple days. So today is a bit tricky, and I said I was going to explain it. I forgot to do it yesterday, so here it goes. Basically, so an AT through hike ends on top of Baxter Peak, Mount Katahdin, in Baxter State Park here in Maine. I am going to be entering Baxter State Park today. However, that park has so many rules and regulations to prevent large crowds that it is very hard, nearly impossible, to get into the park without a reservation. For thru hikers, obviously, there's no way we can make a reservation because we have no real idea of when we'll be getting to the park until we're about a week away in Monson. And by that point, all of the campsites are booked up. So what has happened is there is one shelter site in Baxter State Park that is specifically set aside for thru hikers. It's called the Birches campsite. It can hold a maximum of 12 people per day. So it pretty much works on a first come, first serve basis where you have to get to the boundary of Baxter State Park and sign up to camp at the Birches campsite. And if you aren't one of the first 12 people to put your name on that list for that campsite, basically, there will be nowhere for you to stay inside Baxter State Park. I've been told that the park rangers will try to do whatever they can to make sure that all hikers have somewhere to stay. So if there are any open campsites from people not showing up, or if there are like handicap campsites that were never reserved, then park rangers will try to fill as many hikers into those sites as possible. But in the event that everything is filled up completely, they will basically turn you away and say, try to come back again tomorrow and get your name on that Birches campsite list. Now for me, I am summiting Katahdin tomorrow. Regardless, I'm not coming back on Saturday. So I pretty much need to either get my name on that list this morning, or I'm gonna need those park rangers to find some place for me to camp inside the park tonight. So the list to sign up for the Birches campsite goes up at 7 a.m. I've heard that when there are more hiker crowds, the list goes up even earlier, as early as 6:15, 6:20 a.m. as soon as the park ranger gets there. And again, if you don't make the sign-up sheet before all 12 spots are filled, then, you know, it gets a little dicey. You absolutely cannot stealth camp inside Baxter State Park. You cannot try to sleep or sneak inside the park without rangers knowing. They are very diligent about checking and double checking, and you will get caught and kicked out of the park. And if you get kicked out of the park, you probably won't be able to get in the next day, because in order to get into the park, you have to reserve like a parking pass months in advance. And according to some of the locals I've talked to, all of the reservations fill up on January 1st because Baxter State Park and Mount Katahdin is like the spectacle for Mainers. So everybody wants to come to Baxter State Park with their families over the summer, hike Mount Katahdin and all that stuff. But then you've got this flurry of thru hikers also coming in, since this is where our thru hike ends. And, you know, it really just gets complicated, and I've been really stressed out over the last few days. Like, to stay at the Birches campsite, it costs thru hikers $10, cash only. I forgot to get cash when I was back at Shaw's hostel in Monson, so I didn't have any cash until someone at the shelter last night gave me some cash. And I also only packed enough food to get me through the 100-mile wilderness, which I will be exiting in about 3 miles. Thankfully, there's a store just outside of the wilderness that sells snacks and stuff, so I'm planning to stop there, pick up some stuff, maybe charge up my my phone and my Anchor a little bit before going to the sign-up sheet. And I think I I think I should be okay today because there was a big bubble who left Shaw's hostel ahead of me. And I think most of those folks would have summited Katahdin yesterday, or they'll be summiting today, even though it's raining. But I'm just hoping that none of them decided to hold off until Friday because of the weather, because it's supposed to rain most of the day today, like it rained during the second half of the day yesterday. Now, if there are a bunch of them who decided to wait until today to sign up for the Birches campsite, then I'm in trouble. But I'm hopeful that that won't be the case. So, sign up sheet goes up at 7 or like 6:30 a.m. I'm planning to get to the store around 7:30 when it opens, and then I will go make my way to the sign up sheet around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and just hope that I have a spot. Now, the only reason I'm not going straight for the sign up sheet and then going back to the store, which was my original plan, is because apparently once you go sign your name on that campsite list, you have to walk into the park and go straight to that campsite right then and there. Like, you can't go sign up and then turn around and go back to the store and then come back later, which I think is dumb as hell. And this whole system with Baxter State Park is dumb as hell, honestly. Like, can't even talk. Yeah, I've been out here for 6 months. I've hiked almost 2,200 miles. And then I have to go through all this bullshit just to end this journey. But it is what it is, I guess. Now, if everything fails, if I can't get into the Birches campsite, and if I can't find another campsite with the help of the rangers, my only other option is to try to camp at A-Ball Bridge, where this store is that I'm going to. And the only issue with that is that puts me about 20 miles away from the summit of Katahdin, which means I would have a 20-mile day today or tomorrow to get to the summit, because I would have to start from just outside the park and hike all the way up. And I really don't want to do that. I've worked hard enough. I've been through enough on this hike. I just want to get to the Birches and have an easy 5-mile summit tomorrow, not 20. But if it ends up where I have to do 20, then I'm gonna do 20, because I'm getting the fuck out of here tomorrow, one way or another. Or I just won't summit at all. I'll just call my hike right then and there, and I'll go home, and I will never come back to touch Katahdin, because I really don't have time for this. So we're gonna keep hope alive. We're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna hope that these rangers aren't playing around with me today, because I will really cuss somebody out. But let's go. The last obstacle in the 100-mile wilderness, these slippery wooden planks. I don't like these because I always slip, especially when it's wet. But I do not have time for that today. I've got to get out of this wilderness area. I got to get to A-Ball Bridge. And I got to get to that kiosk to put my name on the list. No falls. Well, we have officially made it through the 100-mile wilderness. Definitely was not as remote as I was expecting. There were honestly tons of people hiking through. And apparently this is a very popular hike for Mainers, which would explain why. But I was not expecting to see so many day hikers and section hikers. Like, I've barely seen any through hikers aside from myself and literally one or two other people. So it's pretty interesting. And thanks to hostels on both sides of the wilderness, there are ways to tackle this section a bit easier. Slack packing the way I did, getting a food drop, which a lot of other people did. But that stuff is often better if you have a group of hikers to split the cost with. Obviously, I do not, so I did it the way that I did it, but we made it through. Going across A Ball Bridge. There's the campground. The store should be just on the other side. And I think I'll be getting there right when they open, which is perfect timing.
Yeah, there's a whole group too.
Look who got the last spot on this motherfucking sign-up sheet. Katahdin or Baxter can kiss my ass. All right, so good news. I snagged the very last 12th spot for the Birches campsite tonight. Just as I predicted, there was a large group of hikers who camped here at A Ball Bridge campsite so that they could be the first ones in line this morning. And I got super lucky because a couple of those hikers made advanced reservations at a different campsite, and that's the only reason I was able to get my name on the list for the Birches, which I'll take what I can get. I'm happy I'm on the list. I'm making my way to that campsite now. I have my spot, and I will only be hiking 5 miles tomorrow up to the summit of Katahdin. And a ranger never even showed up this morning to check the list or check people in. And apparently there has been no ranger present for 3 days now. So hikers have just been making their own lists and pretty much going by the honor system. First 12 people on it get to go to the Birches. So I'm so grateful to be on that list today. And actually, I'm really glad because had it filled up before I got here, I don't know what else I was gonna do with no park ranger. They're supposed to help through hikers figure out if there are any other sites available that they can go to and tell them what their other options are. But with no ranger showing up for 3 days, who would have given me other options? So that would have been a nightmare, but thankfully that is avoided. And because no ranger showed up, I was able to put my name on the list, run back to the convenience store at A Ball Campground and grab some food and snacks to get me through tonight and tomorrow, which I desperately needed. But in order to get on that list and be at Birches, I was willing to go hungry tonight and tomorrow. I mean, I had like a few things, some oatmeal, some mashed potatoes, one of those Stinger waffles, and a protein cookie. That's literally all I had. So I would have had to ration that stuff out between tonight and tomorrow, but now I don't have to because I have some additional snacks. So yeah, I was the last one on the list at 7:35 in the morning, which is crazy. Definitely was not expecting that many people, but we are now making our way to the Birches campsite, where I will be sitting for the rest of the day once I get there and waiting to wake up tomorrow to summit Katahdin and complete this through hike. So I am now officially inside Baxter State Park, making my way to the Birches campsite, which is about 9 miles away on the AT. It is somewhere around 8:30 a.m. So I should be arriving there around noon probably. And then I'll just have the rest of the day to relax at the site and get ready for the big day tomorrow. And boy, has it been a long trek from Georgia to finally make it here. I'm so excited. Tomorrow's the last day. I'm even more excited that tomorrow is only a 5-mile day. Literally all I have to do is climb up Katahdin, touch that brown sign, and I'm done. I'm done. So glad that everything worked out the way that I needed it to. And I'm ready to wrap this up tomorrow. So for some reason, whoever mapped out this final section of the AT has us taking this 9-mile wraparound trail to Katahdin Stream campsite, which is also where the Birches campsite is. But as soon as you enter the park, there's a different trail that takes you straight to those same campsites in 4.5 miles. So I'm not quite understanding why we have to do all of this to get to the same campsite. I just think they are toying with us at this point, but it is what it is. So I have a question about something that maybe some of you all can help me out with. I'll probably try to do a little bit of research on this on my own when I get back home in a couple days. But it's my understanding that the lands here within Baxter State Park belongs to the Penobscot native tribes. And I believe I acknowledged them in my last video, or maybe it was this video. And there's a lot of mention of that indigenous group throughout this park. What I'm curious about is to, I've been told that, I guess it was the former governor of Maine, Governor Baxter. He wrote it in his will that this park belongs to Maine locals, or maybe not belongs to them, but this park should be utilized by residents of Maine. And he wrote it in his will how this park should be sort of regulated. And to my understanding, that explains why there are all of these rules and regulations, and it's so strict getting into this park. Or I should say so limited, actually. So I've talked to some Maine locals who were doing section hikes, and they say that even as a resident of Maine, it's nearly impossible to make a reservation to get in this park. You basically have to sit on the phone for 3-4 hours on January 1st. And so my question is, with all this recognition of the indigenous groups who used to own this land, how is it that a former governor, who I'm assuming was just another white man, how is it that he got to put it in his will how this park should be utilized? Like, those two things sort of don't go together in my mind. And if I had service, I would be able to look this stuff up and be able to gather some more information and maybe understand a little better. But I'm just confused, because there are all these notes and messages around the park and about being passed from person to person in the area about how we need to respect this park because of the tribes that this land belonged to. But it's like, is it respecting those tribes when a governor passes away and says, hey, this park belongs to Maine residents and this is how it should be regulated? Like, those aren't the same things. You can't just throw up the name of an indigenous group and say, oh, this was their land, but we're regulating it and we're telling people how to use it and we're restricting the number of people who can come in and out. Like, I bet you anyone who is like an heir of those indigenous groups probably can't even get into this park because of how strict it is and how far in advance you have to make a reservation and how limited the reservation process is. So I'm a little confused by that. Was Governor Baxter a part of that indigenous group? Did he form some sort of agreement with them? Like, I need to figure that out, because if I find out that he's a white man and he just decided to put these regulations in place just because, like, how all of a sudden can you put in your will what to do with the state park? How did he gain control of this state park to tell everyone what to do with it after he passes? That's what I need to know. That's what I need to find out. And we're going to figure that out when we get back home. But if anyone has any information, go ahead and send that my way because I'm confused. All right, so I'm just 2.5 miles away from Katahdin Stream Campground, which is also where the Birches campsite is. But more importantly, look at that. I'm only 7.5 miles away from Baxter Peak, the northern terminus. It's going to be a heck of a climb tomorrow, but I'm excited to get it done. The last campsite. So I guess this provides a little information on Governor Baxter and how he was able to I guess, buy control over this land. Just as I pictured. Well, as you can hear, the 12 of us who made the sign up for the Birches campsite, we're all here now. Just sort of waiting out the day, basically. It's pretty much been raining on and off, but looks like it's letting up. Hopefully it'll be done for the rest of the day, and hopefully we get no rain tomorrow. But I think we're all pretty ready to summit and to get this over with. So this will probably be the last update from me for today. Tomorrow, oh look, it's raining again. But tomorrow we will finish this thing and officially become a thru hiker. Exciting stuff. So yeah, I will see y'all in the morning. So good night one last time. All right, good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, August 19th. It is day 180, which makes today officially 6 months on trail. I am just leaving the Birches campsite in Baxter State Park, and today is Terminus Day. In 5.5 miles, I will be reaching the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail at the summit of Baxter Peak, Mount Katahdin, here in Maine. It is unreal. And I am full of so many thoughts and feelings right now. I'm feeling excited, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling nervous. Pretty much everything that I felt on day 0 as I was walking under the arch at Amicalola Falls. I feel all those things right now. It's pretty much like walking into a new unknown, because I have no idea what is going to happen once I complete this trail. Currently, I have no plans, no idea as to what comes next. You know, I'm just winging it, figuring it out as I go, taking it day by day, but I'm glad that this hike is ending the way that it is. I'm glad that I found the people who I've been sort of surrounded by in these last few weeks. And I'm glad I found them when I did, because I needed them. This has been such a tough journey. a challenging experience in so many ways. And today it comes to a close. So this is the finale. We've got a heck of a climb up to the summit. And from what I hear, this might be the most difficult climb of the entire AT. It is 5.5 miles all the way up. Super steep, challenging rock scrambles. But there's a big brown sign at the top that's waiting for me. So in a few minutes, I will start making my way up. Oof. It's cold, so I'm a little chilly, but I'm also just very anxious. Couldn't sleep too well last night. And I'm physically like shaking right now, both out of being cold and out of being nervous. So we'll just take it one step at a time like we've been doing and just see how this goes. I'm about 1.5 miles in so far. So far, it hasn't been that bad. It's definitely starting to get steep. 3.5 miles to go. And then I am freaking done with this trail. And I'm not stopping until I see that sign. And I mean that. So I've made it about halfway up the mountain so far. It really hasn't been that difficult as of yet. It is a little steep, and you're basically climbing up large boulders like this behind me. But so far, it's really nothing different from the mini climbs we've already done. It might possibly get a little more technical in the next mile or so. Actually, I think that's a definite. So that should be interesting. But so far, so good. And that's coming from me. And y'all know I'm a complaining ass bitch. So if I was hating it, y'all definitely would have heard that by now. But yeah, it's been pretty cool. I'm just making my way up. And yeah, I'm excited. It is looking pretty foggy up here, so I don't know what types of views we're gonna have, but the day is supposed to get clearer and nicer by the afternoon, so I guess that all depends on how long I want to try to sit up here, which might not be too long. We'll see, but for now I'm just gonna continue on and we'll get closer to the summit. So I maybe just spoke a little too soon. Now it's starting to get a little steeper and more technical, and the boulders are getting larger, and you literally just have to use your arm strength to pull you up. So thankfully, I still have a little bit of that left after 6 months of using only legs. It's getting real. We are 1 mile away from the summit. OMG! This is crazy. I can't believe it. We've got a brown sign to touch, so let's go. OMG, it just doesn't stop. It keeps going and going and going and going. And I'm tired. Tired of climbing. I don't want to do it anymore. Oh my God. Make it stop. Where is the sign? Like, come on. Jesus. Oh my God, I see a sign. I see a sign. Yes, we fucking did it. Oh shit. Oh, we made it. We fucking made it. I'm done. I'm done. That's it. I'm done.
Nice steps.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it. We made it. So this is incorrect. It is now 2,194.3. That's it.
Darn it! Should I get hit by? Oh,
I know I said I wouldn't record anymore until I made it down to the bottom, but since the skies opened up finally, how could I resist? This is our last view of Maine. I'm very excited to go home. Hi everyone, my name is Justin. I guess now better known as New Shoes. I am currently hiking down Mount Katahdin, and I have just completed my Appalachian Trail through hike with the help of Nate Loftus and his family and the One More Day on the Appalachian Trail scholarship. I have to say, I would not have made it here if it weren't for this scholarship and if it weren't for the support of Nate's family, both financially and morally. Nate's presence, El Chapo's presence, can be felt every step of the way along this trail. And I'm very excited to know that his legacy will continue on as future thru-hiker hopefuls step out to achieve their dreams and heal from their pain. I hope the scholarship goes a long way, and I hope it continues to help those who need it the way that it helped me. It has meant so much to me being able to share this experience with El Chapo's family and essentially with him, because I feel that he's been with me this entire time. But I just wanted to jump on to say this is a great program. His family is very supportive and encouraging, and they are the greatest people ever. And I will forever be grateful to them for making this dream of mine come true. So I wish all future thru-hikers the best on your Appalachian Trail journeys. Please keep El Chapo in your minds and in your hearts. He loved this trail, and I have a feeling the trail really loved him back. So that's all I want to say. Thank you, and I will see you all later. All right, so I finally made it down off the mountain. Thank goodness. I was up there for entirely too long, and I was starting to freak out. So rather than coming down the Hunt Trail, which we use to hike up, because that's technically the Appalachian Trail, Monica and I decided to hike down the A-Ball Trail because it was a more direct route down, and basically it would get us off the summit and down to the base of the mountain quicker. And that's what I needed, because I was up there for quite a while and I was getting pretty cold and wet, and the wind was blowing nonstop, and it was just a long story, a long day. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon now. Monica is still making her way down the mountain. Her legs aren't as long as mine, so she isn't able to traverse those really large boulders at the same speed as myself. So she gave me the key to her rental car, and I am now hustling back to Katahdin Stream campsite to pick up the rental car and drive back over to A-Ball campsite to pick her up. But it's a 2.5 mile road walk, and I guess that's better than those extra 2 miles we would have spent coming down the Hunt Trail and how crazy that was. Either way, I am glad to be done, and once I get back to this car, hiking for me is over, at least for now. I'm really excited to get into Bangor, where she has a hotel for the night, and I'm going to be crashing with her. And I'm even more excited to get some food because I'm starving. Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, August 20th, and I don't have to keep track of the days anymore because I'm done hiking. That is such a good feeling. Sorry for the background noise. I am at a motel here in Bangor where Monica and I crashed last night. I know I really don't have to record anymore since this adventure is over, but since I started recording from my house before flying down to Georgia back in February, I decided I would keep recording until I get back home because we've got a little surprise in store today. So yeah, we're gonna be packing up and leaving in a few, traveling down to Portland, where we will be catching our flights out of here tomorrow. And I'm really excited to head back to Baltimore. It's been a long time since I've been home, and I'm ready to see all my friends and family again. So let's do this.
I saw something somewhere that said that this was the time people come up here for whale watching or something.
Huh.
That's what everybody's like. My mother was saying, wait just a minute. You know what y'all gonna do?
So we're here in Portland, Maine. Y'all remember my parents from the Harper's Ferry video?
We're here again.
My cousin Tiffany, and y'all remember Monica. So happy to be eating this delicious food and not walking. All right, so it is now 10 p.m. on Sunday, August 21st, and I just made it back to my bedroom in my parents' house. They, along with my brother and his fiance, did a little bit of decorating in my room to welcome me back home. And yeah, it feels pretty weird to be back. And my room is a mess, as you can see. But we're back. And what really threw me was when I turned to look at the calendar. It's still on February, the day that I left to fly to Georgia. And the day that I started walking. It's so wild. That was over 6 months ago. And things feel a bit different now. Look, we got more decorations up there. Yeah, things feel a little different. But yeah, it's pretty late, so don't imagine I will be up too much longer. I'm home. That's so weird. Okay. So I guess this is it. I wanted to keep recording at least a little bit until I made it back home, since I started recording before I left home. And this is also a pretty weird feeling. Despite whatever I went through while hiking that trail, I guess one of the things that I appreciated the most is this sort of connection that I was able to make with all of you who are watching and who have been supporting and cheering me on. So it's kind of weird to wake up, well, to know that I'm going to wake up tomorrow and not record. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and not hike or do much of anything for that matter. Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet. And also, I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit sad because it's like, now it's time for this chapter to officially close. And it's time to continue moving forward. And I didn't know I would feel this way in this moment. But yeah, it's time, I guess. Obviously, this experience wasn't going to last forever. But I do know this is not the end. There will be more adventures. There will be more hikes and whatever else I decide to do. And at least for right now, I do still want to take all of you along, and anyone else who wants to, be a part of this. So I guess I will see y'all when it's time to set off again on a different trek, a different adventure, a different journey. I don't know when that will be. I don't know what the next will be. All I know is I'm tired. I need to rest and regroup, and I guess eventually figure out what the next steps are going to be. But I do just want to say that I appreciate all of you. Yeah. It's been a crazy ride, and there was just so much support and so much love. When I didn't feel like I was getting it on trail, I knew that I was getting it like here in this space and this community that we sort of all created together. So I'm proud of that, and I'm not gonna leave y'all high and dry, I promise. Yeah, it's just so weird. So I guess, thank you all for following. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the donations, the support. Thank you for everything. This is Trailhead Justin, now also known as New Shoes, and this concludes my 2022 Appalachian Trail through hike. So this isn't goodbye, it's just see you later. And I will see y'all at the next trailhead sometime soon. So good night and be well.